All right, y'all. Welcome back, man. It's your boy D-Frame. We back in the building for another episode of Absolutely Unsure Podcast.
What's good, gang? We in this thing. Back with
Man, I ain't gonna
another
lie. It's
one.
a slow fucking week trying to pull shit out your ass to talk about. But we got a couple topics to get into today. I also just saw some as we was starting to boot it up, so we'll get into those topics as well. So if you're not subscribed, channel, make sure subscribe right now. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, for Absolute Unsure Podcast. You can follow me on my other show as well, the D-Friend Show. That's on YouTube. Subscribe over there. Bryce, you got anything?
Hey, man, follow me at Emerald Thoughts or Emerald Gamer and Reactions, man. We're getting it popping.
All right. So, um, what's the first thing? I just saw this. This is interesting to me because we always talk about how allegations, accusations can like ruin and destroy your livelihood and career. And a lot of people like to act like that's some boogeyman esque shit, and that's some shit that really doesn't happen. That's nothing that really takes place. No men go through that. But we're literally seeing it unfold right before our eyes with Michael Irvin. And it's like, people are kind of just like, whatever. Like it happened. The video got released today of him and the girl's actual interaction. Not that I don't think the audio, but the actual just what happened. And to me, it's just crazy that a hotel would kind of like hold that video back when like what do they have to gain for these false allegations? Why would a hotel want to protect an employee in that way? That just to me doesn't make sense. Unless they're just scared that like, no, we have to believe all women, so we can't even look like we're gonna assist him in any way, shape, or form. But I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
that shit
probably
just look
what it
crazy.
was more than anything. I feel like when it comes to HR, it's believe women, and I'm pretty sure even with the camera or the footage they may have, I'm pretty sure she was able to say something else out of those lines happen. And I mean, maybe it's something legal. Maybe it was something legal. They feel like, let's not release it because we could be obligated by law or something, and get in trouble or something. You never know. Or get sued,
No.
maybe if you look outside of the law stuff. So maybe that's what that was. But I did see some glimpses of that story, and I ain't really know much. Did he get suspended or anything? Or did
He
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 get let
he
go
got
or
kicked
something?
off. He got kicked off of all the Super Bowl coverage that week. That was their Super Bowl week.
Mm.
So he was
They
out
ain't
there
really
to
talk about that much, I feel like.
do. He was out there to do Super Bowl shit, and the girl accused him of she said he the way that's like he reached out and grabbed her arm, which made her uncomfortable. Which in the video you see he does touch her arm and she does take a step back, but like that's not. I get people say like, well, I don't want to be touched, please don't touch me, but I'm not gonna jump out the window and be like, oh, he's an assaulter, he's a sexual assaulter. Like some niggas are just like touchy feely when they talk. Like he ain't grab her on the titty, grab her ass. Now they shaking hands in the video. It's like I just feel like sometimes people taking shit overboard, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like
I mean,
that type of shit. Like if she also said he asked her, have you ever had a big black man inside of you? Like he said that, and I don't know. Like if that's the worst thing to happen to you, it looked like a money play to me.
that's what was that like? Was that in the audio or like could you? Because the audio I heard, you couldn't hear nothing.
No, I can't. No, I'm just saying that's what she said. That he said. I can't hear what happened.
Mm. I don't know. I just know in this day and age, you definitely should be careful in environments that you shouldn't be like touchy feely with women, even if it's just a pat. Unless you that y'all cool, I would say. But if you, I don't know, outside of that, yeah, I wouldn't do it. But if they shaking hands and stuff, I don't know their relationship, so that makes the conversation a little hard to have. I feel like, as far as like, are you allowed to touch your coworkers and things like that? But it's weird
My
for
thing is like I
everybody.
get it. Like a girl can say, "Nigga, I don't want nobody to touch me." They can say that, but like to take it to the level of now, it's like now we're suing you for sexual assault. It's like, all right, bro, we need to kind of reiterate what sexual assault is. Like touch you on the arm, like quickly, like oh, like no, hey, like that's come on, bro. That's not like stop it. That shit's crazy.
I feel like that couldn't be her only case for saying sexual. So I feel like she
Well, no,
gonna
yeah,
have,
he said, "Have you ever had a big black man inside her?"
yeah. Well, that's weird because we can't really like. I mean, she can't win the case because it's like she don't have no proof of that.
Yeah, And even the Marriott, they filed a motion in retaliation in a suit, which they alleged that the Cowboys legend displayed aggressive behavior toward the hotel employee. And I'm guessing that's why they're like, no, look at this footage. In what way do you see any aggressive behavior in this
Yeah, he was just
picture
chatting.
that they had? No,
From what
he's
I seen,
talking
he
to a
was
hotel
chatting.
employee. Like, I'm just talking. But just go to show, like I said, like these things can destroy your life.
Oh,
If
so it
you
was
have
a
a
hotel
video,
employee.
what?
I heard you say that earlier, but I don't know why I thought about the relationship they had. I was saying all of that, but I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking about work environment, but
No, this is a
it all
hotel.
just
He's
came to
at
me.
the hotel for the Super Bowl. Like this is like just I'm here, speak to this lady. She claims I'm sexually assaulted her. I get clipped from everything, and now I'm suing them for $100 million.
Mm. Was she sitting down in the video?
No, they're both standing up.
Man, I don't
They're
know.
just
Maybe I
standing in the.
seen.
They're standing in the lobby talking to each other.
I might have seen the wrong thing, man.
Yeah, because in this video they're both standing each other talking. But yeah, that's just something to me that when I see shit like that, this should just be looking crazy in the way that things are thrown around, and like how just the allegation of it can get you completely wiped off of the broadcast for the entire Super Bowl. To me, that's crazy. Like I said, if he was like really like doing some shit, that's different. But just from what we're seeing and what we're hearing, that shit ain't that crazy. To me, that's just me. But everybody
But
takes it differently.
I will say at least he didn't lose his job and stuff. Like, yeah, you didn't get the Super Bowl stuff, and I mean that's
I don't know. Have y'all
unfortunate.
seen him on ESPN since then, or is it maybe that they're like we need to get through this lawsuit first? Has he been on First Take since then?
Let's see.
I ain't, like I said, I don't really watch sports media like that, so I don't know if nigga been on First Take or not. But and maybe he's just like, you know what? Maybe he look at them like, damn, y'all gonna cut me off like that after everything I done been with y'all. I can't fuck with y'all either. Just off a woman just saying some shit about
Yeah,
me.
yeah, he's been pulled. He's been pulled from NFL Network and ESPN. The
Yeah, so
organization were forced to take the steps after a woman accused Irvin of misconduct. Michael Irvin will not be a part of the NFL Network Super Bowl coverage. Well, yeah, that's so I don't know. I mean, I feel like it wasn't just the Super Bowl. It seems like with that statement, but not quite sure.
yeah. So,
And it's
anyways,
the off season, so
yeah. Anyways, maybe that's why he's on First Take because football's not going on. But whatever, we'll see what happens with that. Let's get to the Charleston White shit. If you retweeted the Charleston White thing, so I thought you saw like what took place and what he said and why the Asian guy came at him the way that he did.
I don't. Maybe I did watch. I just don't remember.
So he just pretty much he said, "F the Asians. We should rape Asian women, rape Asian babies." Like he was going off the handles, doing Charleston White s shit, and he had a show with academics that was he had a show that was supposed to take place for a comedy show for academics presenting like academics presents Charleston White comedy show, whatever the fuck, right? So the Asian guy gets mad. He makes an uproar. He starts telling people, do this, do that. We're going to pull up on you. You're going to have to answer for what you said about my community, my Asians, and this and that. And that's where you see that video that you repost. I don't know if you watched that full thing when he's discussing Asian people, how they don't give a fuck about black people. And that became a conversation people were having as well because
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember
there were a
that.
lot of people that were backing up China Mac in defense of him. And like I said, I could defend you too, because like saying you want to R word or R word Asian babies and R word Asian women, like that's what I should say. That's crazy on any level, any front. Like I said, I'm not gonna be mad at him if he had a different conversation about just how he feels Asian people treat black people and how they take advantage of black people. That's a different conversation that can be had, and that he probably should have just stuck with instead of jumping out the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
window.
that's some crazy shit to say. Charleston might be wild. I'm not gonna lie.
And
Was
and then we all like I said, we all pick and choose because like the video, I think the video too was old, so it's been out there before, and nobody was canceling him. He said he was out here like raping white women. It was like that was like whatever. So it's like, and that once again is another selective type of cancellation. Obviously, China Mac's Asian. He takes a lot of pride in his Asian ethnicity. So that's why he felt the need to try to. Well, he didn't try. They got the show got canceled. There's no more Charleston White academics show anymore because of this entire situation with Charleston White. But I was saying like, you really can't cancel that nigga because unless social networks come together and like we're going to deplatform him, kind of some Andrew Tate shit. That's the only way I can see Charleston White being taken out
I
of the
can see that
paint.
happening to him.
But I just don't feel like he's big enough for that to happen. I just don't feel like
He's
I
a
don't know,
trending
like
topic away. He's
it's gonna
bubbling.
it's gonna it's gonna take more than the Asian shit, I think. Cause
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yes,
not just
like
that.
he
It
was talking
had to
about
be
rape, he
something
was talking about
else.
raping white women. Like he got like he's being booted off Instagram like here and there, but he'll just remake a page and be low key, and then he'll get kicked off again because I guess he gets found and. But I'm talking about wiped away like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I
even
feel like a
then,
nigga gotta have a lot. He gotta have a lot more influence.
it's plenty of people that's been way smaller and got booted off of social media platforms. Maybe not by every platform is mass doing it, but I could easily see YouTube, Instagram, maybe Twitter get rid of them.
Well, yeah,
Like even,
he got kicked off of Instagram. I'm talking about like
I'm saying permanently though,
Yeah, I'm
a
talking about like
perm
an Andrew.
ban.
Well, he is permanently banned, but he just like if I get kicked off YouTube right now, what's to stop me from just keep creating channels
They'll keep
over and over
taking
and
you
over again?
off. If
No,
if
but he keeps getting taken off, but he just keeps making new ones. They find him for a little bit, and then he gets found out,
I
deleted,
mean, technically
makes it.
anybody could do that, but
That's what he's doing. That's my
if
point.
he
That's what
get
he just
bigger, I feel like I said, a little trending topic happen. He'll get perm banned, keep fucking around. It's possible.
yeah. But
Yeah, because even then, like this, I feel like say he get big just off of being funny, then people pull this stuff back up and just kind of like just how with Andrew Tate, it was like what he was kind of saying nowadays really wasn't the crazy shit. It's some shit that he said back in the day or like in his like his what do you call school and shit like that in those type of videos. And what he said there is what he kind of being counseled for, or what he kind of got counseled for. So I feel like it's possible, bro, especially in this day and age, man. Especially in this day and age.
I mean, bro, that ain't fucking nothing to fucking talk about. I'm just like,
Nah,
what the fuck are we
I do
talking
want to
about,
talk
bro?
about Sierra though.
All
Miss
right, go
Miss
ahead, go
Miss
go off,
Goodies, man. You don't
go
feel
off.
no way about that, bro.
No,
See,
her husband's next to her. Like, if he don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. Like,
you don't
it's
know about.
whatever.
You don't feel like that man could be emasculated and broken.
But that's him. Like, he's standing
That's
next to her. It's like I don't feel no way about it.
no. I just feel what
Like he
I
knew what
see.
he got into when he got with her. Like I don't know if she's. I'm not even saying he knew what she got. She's just some hoe. But like,
I don't think he
would
knows
I
he
want
signed
my
up
girl
for
doing that?
fully.
No. But I mean, if that nigga is content with his girl going to award shows like that with him standing next to her,
I know he embarrassed, bro. I'm being honest. I know he embarrassed, bro. Like no man wants that for the mother of that kid. Because you gotta think on a deeper level. That's like the lady that's gonna raise your daughter and your kids. You don't want that being the example for your kids. Like that's what Kanye was talking about with Kim Kardashian. Obviously, is way worse with them being damn near a sex organization. But yeah, when you think about it on this level, yeah, I think
but with them it's
Russell
like,
Wilson got to be
especially with
embarrassed, bro.
Kanye, it's like Kanye's kind of backtrack on his shit because like he was loving that shit. He promoting the shit at first. He wanted her to be more sexy. And then now it's like, no, I don't want you to be sexy. Like, nigga, you already done built her up to be this fucking sex thing. And now
Nah,
you
but
like
that
trying to
ain't.
pull back on it.
Yeah, but that ain't
That's on
Russell
you,
Wilson by
nigga.
any means, though. That ain't Russell. Russell Wilson was at least trying to. He was trying to at least pray the hoe out of her. Back in the day, like I'm being honest, bro. I feel like Russell honestly thought he had got a changed woman. Like I don't think he realized he still was dealing with a diva and a woman that was still kind of in her sexual, let's say, like this sexualization phase of her career still. Like maybe he thought she grew past that, but obviously not. So I feel like Russell got to be embarrassed because it's like if people laughing at Tom Brady for playing bad and blaming it on his divorce, imagine the amount of shit niggas could say to you when your woman doing shit like this. Like we know how mad I used to get when niggas talking about my girl in high school. And y'all was cool with me. If a nigga that I didn't know was saying that, it would have been even
But my thing
more
is like, if
crazier.
the nigga, if he cool with it, then why would he be mad about it?
You can be cool with it, but no, we all human, bro. And at some degree, we all got people that we respect and we care how they view us. Everybody has that, especially if you're successful. If your woman is doing that, it's an embarrassment, bro. It's an embarrassment in reality. That's what a person like Kevin Samuels will say, and that's what most red pill people saying. I feel like even the average man will say, like, yo, how your mama gonna feel? How your dad or your grandpa gonna feel when they see some shit like that? How like your boss is gonna feel like everybody be seeing that shit, bro. And when you supposed to be around, like, we ain't just talking about ratchet hood people and no one really having real respect and like to people or whatever. Like, these are people that's supposed to be successful in my mind, or people that at least supposed to have good character. And I'm sure they're around people that got good character, so they wouldn't want to be around all
That's
that and
Hollywood shit.
seeing
All
all
them
that.
women got their ass out, the titties out. Like that's Hollywood shit.
Yeah. And like I
So
said,
everybody they with,
and
that's
Hollywood
what
is
they do.
cool. And Hollywood is cool, but it's different in the in sports leagues. Like, obviously it's a little entangled, but it's a different way and different vibe. Like, for example, I forgot who it was, but I think it was the Spurs, and with Tony Parker and all them different people. It was one of the ladies there that was just hoeing and sleeping around, and literally, like, she had to either get, like, the dude had to break up with her because like all the other players in the locker room was getting mad because it's just so much shit was going on. The wives was getting mad, so much shit was going on. So it's just like, I feel like the NFL, they move, and people like that move a little differently. And like, I don't know, I just feel like even you being a competitor, bro, like a person having that up on you, that notch on you, that's embarrassing. Like, if your boss and manager can know what your wife look like naked, that's kind of embarrassing. Like, you don't, as a man, you don't even want a nigga to picture your girl being a certain type of way. Now niggas, like, everybody in your organization, everybody at your church, like let's be real. Like, this is like this. He ain't just in Hollywood. If we talking about Russell Wilson, didn't go to church. Everybody at his church know what his girl look like. The pastor and everything. That's embarrassing, bro. I don't care how strong of a man you supposed to be. At some point, you human, and that shit gonna get to you, bro.
I don't. I think. I really do think some niggas just cool with it. They in that new sex liberation, freedom, whatever bullshit, and he might be one of them niggas. They're just like,
Like I said,
that's
a
my
broken
queen, that's my
man.
baby. Do you, baby? I
That's an
love that shit. You so
emasculated man, bro.
sexy.
I feel like that's an emasculated man, bro. And that we couldn't even call it a man because he don't got no spine, no boundaries, bro. And what I really, you want to know what I really seen when I looked at that picture? I forgot to say this earlier. I see the sex roles changing. He is the trophy wife, and she is the superstar that got this dude on a leash. And a part of that is obviously her being able to show her body off to the world, and this nigga just be there like whatever, docile. That's already a part of him being on the leash. Along with, a woman can't wear chains and like necessary jewelry, so how they really stunt and show off is with showing their body off and showing their shit off like that. So her being damn near naked, that just showed me her being in her masculine while her nigga on the side being submissive as hell. Cause it take a submissive ass nigga to let some shit like that happen from your wife. So I really see some roles reverse shit on some Gabrielle Union D Wade shit, Jada Pickett Smith, Will Smith shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really feel that vibes. I really feel them vibes. We ain't seen some bad wives in Hollywood or in the public eye that's of celebrities, and I think she's an example of that, bro. Like, whether he like it or not, bro, 9 times out of 10, even women that say that's just kind of wrong. Women that want to be wives or even look at themselves as wives and say that's crazy. Like, no respectable person in character think that's okay. When you see a regular woman do that, you be like, that bitch trash.
Yeah, they do too much. That's how I look at it. But like when I look at the critique that nigga, it's like, like I'm always on a, if them niggas, if that's their life, blessings to you, nigga. That's your life. If he cool with his wife doing that, hey, you like it, I love it, nigga. That's you.
Hey, man,
I wouldn't be like, yeah, come bring your ass out. Let's go. No, we ain't doing that.
that's crazy,
But
bro.
that nigga, $50 million a year quarterback, how much money he making, he want his woman to come out looking like that. That's
If it was just a girlfriend if it was just a trophy girl, understandable. The mother of your kids is just like,
They had
and
kids
no,
together? I don't know. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
asking.
yeah. He got they got like 3 kids, and one of them futures, obviously, but they had like 3 kids. So yeah, that's something. That's one of them pills that I don't really think no man can swallow, and I really think he's broken and to a degree on the leash, bro, on the leash, man. And it's sad to see, man, because Russell Wilson is a stand up dude, and I really feel like it's what a lot of dudes been saying earlier about she taking advantage. She just the same embodiment of what women be doing. They had the futures, they had the Bow Wows or whatever these so called hood dudes or whatever, and then they try to find them a Russell Wilson and take advantage of them.
She had like a little see-through thing.
Them cheeks was showing.
And her butt was showing. That's what she had on.
She had a little. She had a little. She had a little. What you call them things? Little
Like a
station wagon
sequin. It
back
like a
there.
little.
She had a little station wagon. Showing a little station wagon. That's all that was.
I mean, I get like,
Uh,
hey, you
on that
know.
little hatchback.
Nah, that's Hollywood shit. They all do that. I don't fucking know. They all do that. Like, what I'm trying to think of a man who has a famous woman that don't dress like that or don't do shit like that. I'm trying to think in my head. Not a nigga who's famous and his girl's not famous. A
LeBron
nigga
wife
who's
don't
famous.
do it.
No, she's not famous. I'm talking about a famous girl with a
Oh,
famous
okay.
guy.
I see what you're saying.
I can see ASAP Rocky Rihanna. Rihanna would still probably dress like that if she went out and she's
Oh
not
yeah,
pregnant.
facts.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So like, what famous guy has a famous girl that don't do that? I'm trying to think. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, and I think that's the real example of most of them women don't be wives, or at least they don't show publicly themselves being good wives, and that's why a bunch of men be saying these women been following bad examples. So I mean, you're 100% right.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know anybody who's
Beyonce,
married.
she obviously showed off some shit before. Like she ain't been in her panties or obviously been provocative on stage. So it's hard to say her, but I ain't never seen her wear no fit like that though, like out in public. Like maybe in a performance or something, but outside of performance, I ain't really seen that. But yeah, nah, it's I ain't saying you should expect them to change, but honestly, Sierra, let's be real. I don't even think Sierra was that like she ain't really never did shit like that before.
Sure, it's been like sexy, right? I don't know. Ain't that her thing? Like
In
sex
performance,
appeal and
in performances, yeah, she had some sexiness to her. Like I forgot the name of the song where um it was like black. It was basically black and white with a little tan on it or some shit like that. With the she was getting real low, whatever. It was it's some sexy shit, but I don't think in public or red carpet she's been like that. Like Rihanna, yeah, she take pictures and we ain't seen her in magazines. I ain't never really seen that side of Sierra. Being honest, being honest, so it does seem a little strange. And it, honestly, what it really speaks to is her still trying to seek validation and a new spark in her career. And honestly, she gonna what's nasty is how I see it is she don't even mind embarrassing her husband to get it, and that's no different than like I said, Jada Pinkett Smith. Chris Rock just said it. A lot of people cheat, but I ain't never seen somebody get interviewed by the person they cheated.
that's
And it's
crazy.
like she literally was willing to embarrass Will Smith to make Red Pill Table Talk trend.
Red
And
pill table talk.
whatever the fuck. What's it called?
Just red table talk.
Red Table
And they
Talk.
got the red pill stuck in his head.
My bad. Yeah, I'm late. I ate the pill too much, I guess. I'm out here tripping. I got what's that shit called? T-Rex on red pill.
Why do you think this all is? Why do you think what all is? Why do
Like
you think that she acting like that? He
cut.
just
I
kind of
mean,
broke it down.
she a superstar, and at the end of the day, they want another spark at that chance to be in their prime. We see it in everybody. Like Brad Favre took a bunch of years to actually officially retire. Grunk took a bunch of years to officially retire. Michael Jordan retired twice. Like a lot of people, they love the sport, and they once they get or they love what they do, and when they was on top, bro, when they go down, they want a little piece of that again. So they gonna do something. They're gonna do something. Well, a lot of people will, honestly. So she's no different. It's just you would hope it would have been more in the music, but that ain't hitting. So she trying everything at this point. Seem like
Yeah, my thing was more like the song she tried to make. It's like that song was like just that shit was trash. That was like trying to do the
doing
whole
trash.
independent thing. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we like? Like, that's not even believable. That's like when you see 6ix9ine like starts rapping about street shit. It's like, bro, we just saw every like. Why would I listen to that? Like, we just like you're clearly in a nice, great marriage. Christ is in the front of y'all's marriage, y'all say, and all this. Like, why am I gonna roll with the Miss Independent record from you when your husband make $50 million a year? Like, I don't believe it. Just how about you sing nice, sweet songs about being in love and hey, ladies, this is how you find the right man, and like that makes sense for your career, but that's not what sells. So there's that aspect of it too. I got to do what the fuck's gonna sell,
She gotta
and
sacrifice somebody, get some
that
get some talent.
that song won't, that record, that content don't sell. So that content and that shit ain't gonna go. But speaking of the Oscars, I know you probably most likely didn't watch anything from the Oscars. I saw clips from the Oscars. My thing, just because you brought up Will Smith and Jada, it was like they kept bringing that up. Like they kept like the Will Smith slap thing. It was like, who do people even like when I was watching Chris Rock's thing, like I didn't even really give a fuck to hear him talk about it because like it's like it feel like a year too long. Like I get comedy, you got to write that shit, you got to do it, whatever. But like even when I was listening to him talk about, it, I was just like, that shit just feels stale and old at this point. Like, why the fuck we still talking about this shit?
I
Like
liked it. I
it's
enjoyed it.
his chance to talk about it, but it's like it just felt stale and old. Like, all right, we still talking about this shit? Like, all right, they got slapped last year. A million people had different conversations about it, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
I don't find Chris Rock as like the funniest nigga. So even when he was talking about, it, I was just like listening, like, but
no, he's Chris Rock has never been the funniest to me either. So I do agree with you there, and I also could see how anybody could feel like it's dragged on. So what you're saying not crazy, but I enjoyed it. It was a little funny, and maybe it's just me being biased towards not liking Jada and stuff like that. So that's probably what it is too. Why I enjoyed it probably more than you,
Chris
if
like,
I'm being honest.
yes, fuck that bitch. Like,
If
I
I'm
fucking
being
hate that
honest,
bitch too.
crush that bitch.
Jesus
Crush it, because he said some shit that was realistic. It was like, man, out of all the
Do y'all
people,
really be caring a lot about these like these people and they like I really don't care that much. Like I get what she did to Will was like fucked up. Was like I don't really care enough like about her to like be like fuck that bitch. Like I just don't care enough.
nah, I'm not like fuck that bitch, but she's an L person, L human, and she got to hold that, and it's fun to
To
talk
your
about.
point earlier, why do you think society is making women masculine and men feminine? I don't
Me
know,
personally,
it's easier to control shit. Come on, we're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, the chaos, people divided. You gotta think the family's a stronghold, bro. That shit strength. So breaking that shit up gonna do everything. But yeah, they love dysfunction, man. That's the sad truth.
I'm
But
just reading it. It's like, bro, it's easy to create, what's it saying? Was like good times create soft men and hard times create strong, some shit like that. I don't fucking know. And I just think when women are in the masculine role, and men are feminine, ain't nothing could go too much. Shit could go right.
and if I'm gonna be real, this is um a symptom of a collapsing society. If I'm gonna be honest, when you have a lot of the trends that's bubbling, I'm not gonna mention them, but a lot of the trends that most people that's conservative wouldn't agree with. A lot of times when that start bubbling in societies, because this is not the first society to have these things go on, it's usually symptoms of some change or a collapse of society for sure. And it's a
I
little
think
deeper.
too. I think too.
Um,
My bad. What you say?
I was gonna say what it goes to what you said. We're in soft times, and so much bullshit bubble up from that, and eventually it end up breaking. So, that's I was just gonna just
And
acknowledge
also,
that.
I think, and I don't even think we're making women. masculine as far as like but I still think a lot of women we see more like on social media type shit who are like really into this like culture war, this, that type shit. Like they still have their very agreeable, emotional side and how they think and how they react to things going on. Like I think that they just want men to be more like that. I don't think they really want women to be the men, but I think they want men. I think the focus is more men to be more like women as far as like being emotional about things, not logically thinking about things and how things make sense and being agreeable to other ideas and people's whatever and how they want to live their life. Like I feel like that's more of the thing.
I,
Like you, I think you
you're
post another clip from that whatever the White Boy Fresh and Fit podcast where they was talking. I think there's some trans stuff, and all the girls just like, yeah, this is what it is. You have to do this. You have to let them do it. It's like because they're more agreeable to shit. They're more like, oh, just yeah, okay, everything is whatever. And when you just kind of sit back and think about it, it's like, I mean, I want everybody to do what they want to do too, but like I can still say like, hey, that shit just doesn't sound like it makes any fucking sense to me. But like, that's just what it is.
Well, I agree. You're not wrong, but I also say to add to the, I do think they are making them masculine because we live in a society where what women say go, what women say is right in a sense. Like if you argue with a woman, you look crazy. If you argue with a woman, you're most likely wrong. So if we're talking about how mainstream society push things, the woman way of life is right and the man way of life is wrong. And I feel like that makes them masculine because they mentally feel like they're the elites. They mentally feel like they're better. They mentally feel like they're the leaders, which makes them masculine.
Oh, so that's not how I look. I just look at they're just still just women. Like they're just women. It's just now men have like I feel like that's what I said. Men have been more whipped down to be more like
Both.
women and just agree with women rather than like women are now like men. I guess if you say as far as like just being dominant, as far as like um who could be a leader, I guess if that's what you consider masculine, and I would agree. But like I said, I still think most women you hear talking are
Wouldn't
still a
wouldn't
woman type shit, not really a
wouldn't
masculine type thing.
my bad. Wouldn't you consider being dominant when a man say whatever a woman say, right? Like a happy wife, a happy life, like a sense of like what her, if she ain't if you telling her no, essentially you fucking up. Like that's dominance. Like that's complete dominance, and that leads to complete leadership of wherever her emotions or whatever she want to say or however she want to move. That's how the relationship
I
go.
mean, that's a saying that's been going on for like the fucking forever though. That
But
ain't like new.
that's a part of it. That nah, that
And
is
niggas
new.
just and
That
a
is
lot of
new.
time niggas
That
say
is
that.
new.
A lot of time niggas say that because they don't want to hear bullshit. Like there's like I just want to put up bullshit.
But that
Like
speaks.
any even niggas that don't have wives just don't at a certain point just don't want to put up their girlfriend bullshit. They just be like yeah, all right, like niggas do that day to day. Like that's just the thing. Like she gonna keep fucking because she's emotional because she's a woman. Like all right, get the fuck out of my face. Like all right, yeah, you got it. Cool. Let's move on.
I will argue that's okay at certain times, but if that's like I said all the time, then no, that's not healthy. If I'm being honest, if I'm being honest, like that's just not healthy. And I'm just speaking to if a dude is essentially letting everything go, she constantly gonna push the boundaries, and that constantly gonna lead to her being more of the dominant, which leads to leadership, leading to her leading the technically the dance. Like she's leading the dance and not you. And that means masculine. Like when we talk about masculine, feminine, it's as subtle as that. Let's talk about two people dancing. Who's leading, who's not. And it's a subtle thing. Like so if you don't know dance, you really can't tell. But that's the masculine and feminine. And if she's leading the dance, she's masculine. She's leading. It may be subtle or whatever, but it's a thing that happened in this society, and they're encouraging it more and more and more. That's what I see. Like even when you look on talk shows, if a man on a talk show with a woman, he got to submit to her points. Like, and that's reflective of what they want in the household, which is going to lead to chaos and dysfunction and divorce and all so much other shit. Like, I really feel like it's a mix of obviously they making the men weak, but the reason they make the men weak is to uplift the woman. which when you uplift the woman, that mean they pretty much, like you said, gonna be doing whatever society say, whatever society trends is. So they really leading the household. Society's leading the household. That's the real scam. But
I don't know. I,
in
I
my
mean,
eyes,
I get what you're saying. Like you're saying, like if they're the dominant ones, I guess the idea of them being dominant, then that makes them masculine. But like I said, I just think it's like my thing is more make the guy docile because the woman's not changing anything. She's just she's just allowed to say what the fuck she want to
bullshit,
say now.
bullshit, bullshit.
These women, they're still just being emotional. Like it's the same shit. It's just like
And that
they can do
affects
it.
the dynamic of a household. That's the difference. You're gonna now
I,
have emotional kids. You're gonna have
that's why I said like the women.
toxic
Like I said, like
household.
my point is the women are still being women.
That's what
They're
you
really
wait.
their traits aren't really changing. They're still just being women. They're just being
Not
allowed to do more.
the
They're just
traits
being women.
change. The traits change because they're not
The one thing
being
I can say
women.
changed is the sexual thing about people just like fuck it, I'll fuck everybody. That's something that's a little bit like as far as being emotional and agreeable, like that's still like they're just being women.
So I don't think it's being women. I think it's being something that's unbiblical. Since being women is having boundaries, being a man is having boundaries, or you're a boy or what do you call it? You're immature or some shit like that. So how I look at it, actually being a woman is having standards. Actually being a woman is having somebody let you be accountable, or letting somebody you being accountable and people can check you on that is what I'm trying to say. Not just one man, a woman, anybody to a degree, especially if they respectable. So when they could just do and push those lines and do all that different shit like that, it's not a woman in her natural state. It's most women that even complain that I need a man that can check me and put me in my place, and that's what they prefer. They like a man that can understand their chaos, even though like that could be unproductive. But what they're really saying in that is saying that I can be tamed, and if I'm not tamed, then I have all these different things that's possible. But that's
So wouldn't
more
that be
due.
if it being untamed is them being free to do whatever they want? Wouldn't that just be their natural state?
No, I don't think that's them being in a natural state. I just think
Because if you got
that's
to be
somebody.
tamed, if you got to because like if I have to tame a lion, then like that lion being tamed now is not in its natural state. But
Well,
if it just let it do whatever the fuck it want to do, then that's its natural state.
we could say natural state and like immaturity, or I can't think of the word, but like just being premature in a sense. But when we talk about men or women, you have to learn to be tame. You have to learn to have character. You need to learn to have morals, which leads to you being a productive person, being a productive spirit, and things like that. So if you don't have that, can't really call you. I wouldn't call that someone being a natural woman. I would call that an unnatural woman because most people should be raised with boundaries. And when somebody's not raised with boundaries, we see it's usually a problem. They taking certain medicine, they're they're going to jail, or they
So
become a
let me ask
statistic
you,
essentially.
how would your perfect like dynamic in the household work for you and your spouse if you were married? Like what would be the like what's the perfect like role for them? Like what would they do? How would y'all speak to each other? How would y'all come to decisions? How would you like that to take place?
I probably, if I could use it in the sports, I would probably be the owner and the brand essentially, because if you just say you get married, your kids and you take your last name, so essentially you're the owner and the brand. And she's a high level employee because a woman is your queen, and if you leave your queen unprotected, that could lead to collapse. Let's be real, your queen and the woman that you put as your woman is very powerful. It can make it break you. We say that with many men, and I just was speaking on this. It can make or break you. So essentially you are the king. You are the king of the kingdom. You make the rules. You dictate how people eat. You dictate portions. You dictate the way of life in that civilization, essentially. And obviously, a woman gotta like it to want to come in and all that different stuff. But she's a queen. She dictates things. She has her roles. But yeah, that's how I see it. Ain't a but. That's just how I see it.
So she could tell you like, nah, I want to do this. We should do this.
And it's certain times and places for that. Yeah. If we in a room or if we in the middle of a war, hell no. Like, or like if I'm on a battlefield and she's like, no, this ain't your place to be on the battlefield. But like if we in our private rooms we having the conversation, that's cool. But it's no different. Like if we talk about respect, you wouldn't see a player talk crazy to a coach in a good culture. You wouldn't see a head coach talk crazy to the owner in a good culture. And same for an owner. You wouldn't see an owner disrespect his employees or it's whatever you want to call the people that's under him. You wouldn't want to see him disrespect them people in a good culture. Why? Because you want to have a productive culture, and having respect is a big part of that. So I know a lot of people think, oh, slavery. Well, what's a woman wrote slavery? Like that's the go-to. But no, it's you have to respect everybody, even your child opinion, because at the end of the day, they're foundational pieces in your kingdom. And eventually they're gonna either take over or you may be vulnerable and you need them to do it's many different variations where you should respect them and grow them and make them wise in just as how you grow. Like just because you're the king, you're the owner, you don't just put your wife away and don't tell her anything. Like you still want to make her wise, you still want to make her smart, just like you want to raise your kids, because she's gonna be a part of raising your kids. So if you ain't teaching her shit, then what's she gonna raise your kids through the first 10 years? What the fuck she gonna tell them? How the fuck she gonna so how's she gonna be on the program essentially to make sure your kids stay on program? So that's how I see it. That's what's healthy. And when a woman don't have that, they complain and they ultimately despise that shit. That's what was the doctor that came out of Canada? That was
Peterson.
that's what he talked about with the women that choose careers ultimately regretting it, and that's being something that's very prevalent in this new society that we have, because ultimately nothing really satisfies them more than having their own kids and things like that and having their own family. And honestly, having guides and having a leader, because bro, that's what they follow, bro. Women look for something like their father, especially if they had that. They want something that resembled that, because at the end of the day, that's who she looked up to and was inspired by, along with obviously her mother and things like that. But she inspired by her dad. So when she grows up, she gonna want to have a leader just like that. Like it's just a way of life. And then when you have a young boy, you raise him to be like you, a leader. So one day he can have a family of his own. So that's just the natural cycle of life, way of life in my mind. And that's natural, and that's how productive things and productive civilizations get built. But when that's out of whack, you see dysfunction. That's why the black community been fried since the 80s. Or yeah, since the 70s and 80s, I'd say. Once the crack and things start coming into our communities. But we had great marriage rates. Men were leading even after times of all that shit we went through. And once that feminist movement hit, shit ain't been the same. Once the government start giving incentives for black women to be apart from their man, shit ain't been the same.
Crack.
Yeah, 65 was definitely the prime, but even during the late 70s and 80s, we've still seen a lot of black communities still having growth in production. Once we got into the 90s, that's when it just I appreciate it, Trey. Nigga finally gave me a compliment.
He
Trying
just
to
ain't looking for shit to say. Like he was like, we had this whole conversation. He just thinking, what I say? How can I troll? How can I troll? How can I troll? It's gonna make my fucking day. Like all that nigga can think about. But nah, black people. Yeah, say like late 1970s, 1980s. We should start fucking up. We should start fucking up back then. But that's also I was reading that one book. It was talking about even how like mass migration fucked up the black community. Like mass migrating out of the South when a lot of the black people stayed in the South rather than trying to move to the North. They would be the majority in like I think it was like 3 states I seen. So like they'd be able to control more like the laws in those states and who's running those states and yada yada yada. And if every black person moved back to where they came from instead of going up to Chicago, because they went to Chicago, they still got hoed with housing and redlining and this and racism and bad jobs and whatever. But if they would have stayed in Missouri, I think it was maybe it's, I don't know. You know, one of them country ass, but I don't know. I don't think it was Alabama. Maybe it was Alabama. I don't know. Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, somewhere.
Yeah, Alabama was heavily populated with black
They would
people.
just stayed there. Then they'd be running shit. Um, you know, that'd be how. That's how it would be. But so like, what do you think? Like, push is it just government? Is it government mixed with media? Is it like
When the media ran by
now
government.
wouldn't the media just be like shit? Because all we see now is just the shit we see people creating on social media. Really, that's like the new like podcasts and this and that. Like that's the new linchpin TikToks. Like now it's just people
Yeah, but they've been
pushing it.
brainwashed. They've been
No, I'm saying
brainwashed.
I know where they got it from. I'm saying, but that's the driving force now. That's the teacher now. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and honestly, I say that's been the biggest. Um, that's kind of been a biggest downfall is the actual people speaking and sounding stupid. But when this stuff was done in a way of media, let's say Hollywood, and they make great films about these type of topics and things like that, where the independent film or shitting on a man, a woman, I need a man, especially in the black community, we got that color purple thing going on with our community and many other films. But when it was done like that, it was different. And obviously on the talk shows and things like that, where things was more curated and more perfected to push a narrative, I think it was more deadly. But nowadays, I feel like these podcasts and shit really be showing like the chink in their armor. Honestly, because it be coming off as stupid. These bitches talking about getting pissed on, and a man. Then I seen a woman trying to double down and saying a man will accept that if he found out. It's like obviously some man will. She's not 100% wrong with that,
Yeah,
but
they always find somebody.
it's just the concept of like just doubling down and even speaking on that. Like where are we in the
Like I always say, I always tell you, they're gonna find somebody. Like I said, Brittany Renner, she's gonna find somebody. Somebody's gonna marry her. I don't know when. I don't know, whatever. Somebody will do it, and most likely it's gonna be somebody who got money.
my bad.
That's gonna be the guy that's gonna settle down with somebody like that. Because even like I was watching this Angela Yee clip. It didn't go viral, but I just seen like blogs posting it. Was this young rapper named Lil Zell Simon? He was telling, they was asking him, these like women that in their 40s or however old they are, and he was like, "Nah, if you got hella bodies, like I ain't wifey you." Like, and they was confused by that. It's like they was like, "How many? 4, 5, 6, 7, 10?" Oh, the one girl, she was like, "I 10. I do that. Nothing. I have sex with people. Like it's nothing." It's like, yeah, but are you even like you could tell you're not in a relationship right now. It's like a lot of niggas don't like shit like that. And
Not respectable men,
like
not
10,
men that
20,
they will
30,
want.
40 bodies, like that's crazy.
That's
That's
the thing.
crazy.
It's some niggas out there that would accept that, but they be low caliber, weak men that maybe they'll settle with when they. Even then, in this day and age, women would rather die alone than settle with a weak man. So the man that they want, nah, they're not accepting it. And a lot of times, women, the biggest argument that I be seeing with that is like, why should they care? I think men. I seen a dude say at this point, men are just like just unrealistic essentially with the expectation of body count. And it's like, bro, niggas don't understand. It speaks through the energy more than anything. Like when a girl get a bunch of different bodies, bro, she starts to act a certain type of way. She starts to, oh, I got these baggage. All I got that different things. Like, and that even speak to her actions and how she moved, bro. And it a lot of times turn off men from that and being like, yeah, I might hit, but nah, she batshit crazy. And then these women be, oh, I can have a bunch of bodies and it don't matter. Y'all be batshit crazy after all them bodies. Like it's just not natural for essentially a woman to get used. Like that's not her. Like I said, it's not natural. Like once that starts to happen, she starts to become something that's not normal, bro. It's not normal.
I think people could try to like call. I think like and also people try to like. I don't know. I don't understand why people try to shame that shit. Like, oh, y'all are trying to be old school, and y'all are this, y'all are that. It's like, bro, when you watch some shows like Game of Thrones and you see the girls that was out here hoeing, it's like
They don't be right in the
they
head.
wasn't the ones that was they fuck being right. They just wasn't the ones because they were in the shows. The ones that do be hoeing, they be like sweet, but it's like niggas don't want to deal with that. So it's just like, oh yeah, you're sweet. I wish I could, but you fucked every nigga in the town because you're a prostitute. I can't love you. You're nice. You're sweet, but it's like I can't do it. And that's fine. Like if a nigga don't want to be with a girl who had sex with a lot of people, like nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why people get um shamed for like saying shit like that.
Yeah, and this Blueface actually had a great argument, but it's just one of them double standards.
Yeah, but he's a dumbass too, because like he'll say the girl got 10 bodies, but then he'll be like right back with it. So it's like, nigga, what you want to do, nigga? Do you want her in the 10 bodies or you don't, nigga?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a simp.
Because you said the 10 body shit when she first announced it. Then you got back with her. And now you shitting on her again. So now you bringing up the 10 bodies.
He
But then next week you're going to be back with her for the 10 bodies. It's like, nigga, shut up.
he purple pill. He purple pill. He know pimp shit, but he blue pill. He a purple pill.
Bryson,
Just
don't nobody care about body count? Wasn't Jesus' mom or wife a hoe? Jesus' mom was married a virgin. What are you talking about?
dumbass.
Jesus' mom was a virgin. That's why it was so crazy that she had a baby because she's never had sex.
Dumbass.
He was chill. You say he was chilling with Mary Magdalene, right? Is Mary? I want to put that on. Was Mary Magdalene the one that was a hoe? Or am I
I'm
just
not
naming
sure.
people?
I don't remember that.
Somebody was a
That
hoe. I don't remember. Somebody was a hoe. Let me see. Was I see people have their churches named after Mary Magdalene. Who was? Oh, is Mary Magdalene his mama?
Yeah, I don't. I was about to say I don't know. I don't think. I don't know about that one.
Let me see. Who was the hoe Jesus was chilling with?
Babylon the Queen was a hoe. There's plenty of hoes. The ladies that let the Roman soldiers ravish them, they were some hoes, but they ain't had nothing to do with Jesus.
Yeah, ain't showing whoever the hoe was. But even that, just even because like if Jesus hung out with sinners, hoes, thieves, and whatever, that's because he's like Jesus. Like
Oh, maybe you
he's
talking about the dudes he was hung next to, but I don't think that.
well, no, that's like he's hanging out with hoes or something. That's people like to say like that's their argument. Jesus was cool with hoe, but like that don't mean Jesus was like, oh yes, be a hoe. He's probably trying to save her from being a hoe. That's probably what it was, more than like, oh yeah, fucking you a hoe, we rocking. Like I don't think that's what it was. I think it was more like I want to try to save you from hoedom, not
That's
like I'm gonna
funny.
encourage you to continue to be a hoe in your life, like you know. But I feel like also like women just gotta understand that there's gonna be a lot of guys that are turned off by that. Like I just don't get the confusion. Like even when like we never talked about Amber Rose when she was talking about her son and how somebody brought up to him at school that she had OnlyFans and she's like he's gonna find out that I'm this and he like they probably like liberal Wiz Khalifa his son's probably like liberalized like the guy was making fun of sex work and she said her son was like they could do whatever they want to do with their bodies. And she's like, oh, yes, I love when I heard him say that. And women can do what they want to do with their bodies and they can be hoes and like whatever, like have sex with whoever. Like they've pushed that to their son. My thing is like, everybody not going to be your son. A lot of people are going to be like the kids at school that are laughing at him for his mom having OnlyFans. Like that's just how the world is going to be here and forever.
You said why you asked the question, or you said you don't understand why they don't get it. I believe it's because they didn't have fathers to teach them the game. Because from one thing, there's a difference between sexual attraction and a dude that actually want to take you seriously, and maybe do those protecting and providing things. And then there's the difference between what having standards is and just sleeping around. Like we most women have been told the game of sleeping around is fun, sleeping around is liberating, sleeping around is shit, how you get back in masculinity. Sleeping around is just the new way of life. And if they had a father, that would have been just if they had a real father with a backbone, that would have never happened. So or that game would have never been taught to them, or it would have been checked at least, or it should be. I don't know. But I obviously in the black community, them not having fathers and then their mothers probably was living a little loose or not really having standards
I
is
feel like it's even
it
girls
all
nowadays who
speculate.
got fathers that still out here fucking. I think like the mindset around the entire sex thing is like changed
Yeah,
to where they just feel like it's okay to just sleep. Like I watched the other little fucking street interviews. These girls, it'd be a black guy. He'd be mostly interviewing like white girls. Um, they be talking about they have daddies. Like, what are your parents don't know? Oh, my dad and my mom don't know that I fucking used to sneak in like 12 guys and 20. Like these are girls that like literally just get out of high school talking about they
weak
got 12,
parents.
15, 20 bodies and shit like that.
Those usually are they usually have either weak fathers. That's why I like the preference that and in the black community that's not a thing for the most part. They most of them the father is just not in their lives when we talk about that type of lifestyle. Like but yeah, they can have a father, but a lot of times these niggas be weak. That's just the truth. And then you also, I mean, to your point, they also encourage it everywhere in society. So that's going.
That's why I always feel like that's mostly what it is. I feel like there's a lot of things parents could try to do at their house, but like once society get to your children and like they start thinking this is the norm, and it feel like it's a lot. It ain't really too much parents could do. Like you could like try to keep motherfucker in the house and try to keep them on a strict plan and this and that. But you see a lot of people. Oh yeah, I was in the church all my life, and then I got older in society, and then I turned to a hoe. And so like I don't know. So sometimes only so much parents can really do with their kids. Like you could try to put that fear of God in them and shit like that, but
I don't think
niggas'
it's
brains is wired to be accepted by everybody else, and if everybody else is doing this, a lot of kids, especially like people who are young, they're wired to just be accepted by everybody else and do what everybody else does, rather than like, oh, you're gonna listen to your fucking mom and dad, loser. You're a dumb bitch, Charlene. Like that's how I feel a lot of shit happens.
so. Take the meaning out of red pill as we know it. Let's just think of the word red pill as just like awakening somebody up to the way of life. Do you think you can red pill your kids?
I don't know.
I'm interested because I don't know either. I'm thinking like, do you think you can red pill your kids where you can give
I
them a
think that when
certain
you to
amount of
red pill
game and
somebody,
truth?
I think somebody has to be willing to want to even like they have to be open to like
A kid
taking
is
in that.
sponge. A kid is sponge all the way to 13. So I mean, you got a lot of time. So at some point, is there a way that you could red pill your kid? I don't know. I'm not saying I believe you can. I'm just asking the question honestly.
I don't know because, like I said, I feel like these kids they're so young and they're so impressionable. Like I said, like you could teach your kids and have your kids in a certain way of life leading up 13, 14. But when they get in them schools and they get around these people and they get into peer pressure and they get to try to be cool and they get to try and do all this shit, everything you taught them could just fucking easily just fly out the damn window. Just how the brains of people work, and especially
Nah,
kids.
I think the only way to red pill your kid is put them on all the good TV shows that you know got the shits, all the good movies. That's the only thing I could think of. Is that in here? Oh, that's a show shit. But
I don't know
yeah,
why that
that
shit keep doing that. That bitch I got a faulty wire or something.
yeah, I feel like maybe if you put your kid on certain like TV shows and things like that, maybe that could help. But I don't know. I'm wishful thinking.
You gotta have kids and find out. See what you can do. That's all you can do. Shit.
I
Have
mean,
kids, teach them how you want to teach them, and then
me personally, if anything changed, something changed. But I will wait till I feel like I'm well established before I do it. So I wouldn't. I don't. I'll probably have them homeschooled to a degree. Like I'll probably still have them in like recreational sports I'll probably still have them in like public things that they could do with other kids, but most of the education would be from home. So they'll still have socialization and or social skills and stuff like that. But most of the cultures that they're gonna learn gonna come from the community that I pick and choose. I feel like, well, now I feel like that's what I want.
Yeah. Oh,
But it honestly that, but that's a luxury that I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy to do because even then, most people got to work. You can't retire early, so it's not something that's like a. It's almost sound like fairy tale, honestly, but because it's like, well, if you don't do it that way, then what's the answer? And that's
just give your kids to the school system. Whatever happens around their friends, whatever happens in school, whatever happens, shit.
I. You
That's
know
how shit
what?
like that happen.
As I'm thinking though, you can vet their friends. You can kind of curate your kids' friends. Like you can almost have arranged friends. Like a lot of the people that my mama put me around, I was cool with, and I had decent relationships with. So I feel like if you can find good families and things like that, obviously good organizations like in
Yeah, if you
sports
find
and
you a good
things,
society, a good like community to go live in, like yeah,
connections. It ain't even just have just say you just not in that community. Because let's say not in that perfect world, like I said, you just have connections though. Like so, I feel like it's possible to at least.
trust that is
Uh,
kept.
I think it's possible to at least kind of alleviate some of those society toxicity or toxic ways in a sense. And I mean, I know I'm proof of that because literally people that raised me and helped me, like I didn't necessarily have my father in my life, but my mom put me around people. My mom put me in sports, and I had male figures in my life. And I mean, shit, I ain't do too bad. So, my godfather's still in my life, like, so I mean, it's I ain't sitting there and say they was like directly in my life every day, but I've had influences, and shit. I remember playing little league since 3 years old, and that
So
shit
what do you
was
what is
love of
so
my life.
what does it look like a best outcome for your kids? Like the do you not expect them to go through no dumb shit when they get older? Like you expect them to just like straight and narrow the whole way through? Like
No,
what's a
kids,
best case scenario
kids
for a
gonna
kid?
make kids gonna make mistakes, but not nothing that's life ending, nothing that's lifestyle potential crippling. So when I say that, like your future, like life or way of life being crippling, like let's even say to an instance to fucking up your credit or going in and out of jail or just being inconsistent financially or something like that. Let's just, I want them to be productive. Like they don't have to be a fucking superstar. They don't have to be a millionaire. But I don't want them to be depressed kids. I don't want them to be um, sad to say suicidal or on any like medication in the sense of like because they're depressed or something like that. I want them just to be happy with life and to find just the simple things in life. Like I don't need nothing special, but I don't want them to be susceptible to society's bullshit. I don't want them to be gullible to the rat race. Like I want them to be able to have a free mind and to cultivate a way of life that they happy with. Like, and honestly, I want them to have seeds that's already planted. Let's say, like, even if they didn't want to work for a company that I created, they could still have a piece of that company where that they're good, even if they want to work or do their own things. Like, I just want them to be set essentially, and not have to stress. I want them to enjoy life because it's way more than life than just going to work every fucking day. And if I can give that to my kids, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't want them to be soft by any means, but it's way more in life.
I don't ever think about shit like that. I always think about wanting to have a company and like let my kids work there and like I don't like nigga be doing all that. Like, no, I'm make my kid like what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing that for? I want to set them niggas up to be good so my grandkids will be good. And I get it, like, make them work still. Like, yeah, you gonna have to work in this fucking office with me. You have to work at this, whatever the fuck with me.
But
But like
that's what sports and shit for. Like you can find ways to build character without making them do miserable shit. Like if you're rich as hell, put them in sports. Let them do things that still build character. Like put them in a music or something. Like it's ways to have character and feel like that person not just somebody that don't know shit or just don't know how to use their hands or don't know how to accomplish something. Like it's ways to do that in a productive way. And when you have those resources, it's not a thing. It's not a thing, bro. I be driving in these neighborhoods with these delivering packages, bro. I be seeing some of the nicest houses. Bro, I literally seen. I went to a neighborhood, bro, where every every house had like a what do you call that? A hangar, and in the back of their yard is literally the airplane strip. And it's literally houses where people are parked and live in that mug. And it's like it was a grass runway and everything. I'm like, Brian, never seen that shit before. Never seen. It's somewhere in Houston.
I'm
Never
not
seen
doing.
that shit
I'm
before.
not making that face here. I'm making a face of like, where's Trail's mind go? That what do we? When do we say anything about sports? Like sports and was the answer. You know how many kids get touched or bullied in sports? Like we're just talking about like make you work hard. What do you? His mind always go to like touching kids and like I don't know.
Yeah, that's
His
weird.
mind be just going like we weren't
I've
even they even
never,
we
I've
weren't even
never had
going
a
down that
conversation like that.
direction. Like
And well, you have to let your kids spend a night at the coach house and shit. Like there have to be some very comfortable things going on. It's like no, they playing for the team. They go home. Like
I'm
I'm gonna
at the
be at
practice.
every
I'm at
practice.
practice, and
Like
then I'm taking you home. Like it ain't like, oh yeah, I'm about to
yeah,
go in the locker room with the girlies. Like, no, we ain't doing that, nigga. We ain't doing that.
yeah.
These things happen when you like go spend the night with niggas, or you leave your kids on supervised with niggas and all that type of shit. But nah, the air hangers in the back of the that's crazy. That's in Houston. I mean, obviously, I know you deliver
Yeah,
packages in Houston.
yeah, it was like in the like Cypress area, but 290 freeway, but it wasn't like big planes or nothing like that. It's for like small little planes, but I never seen it. A grass runway, and it's nice. It's like usually you see a river or a lake in the people backyard with the kayaks and shit like that. Nigga, they got an airplane strip. Like I was amazed. Never seen that before.
That shit crazy. Everyone in sports ain't working hard. If you're not good, you on the sideline. Like, yeah, you would know. That's probably you when you was a kid. Cause I can't see Trill doing those type of sport. I ain't gonna hold you. I can't see it.
My kid don't have to be fucking Tiger Woods. They just playing, enjoying, and being
Trill,
good.
stop being a weirdo, man. Stop being weird. You ask too much personal information about niggas. Nigga told you delivering package. Leave it at that. You don't need to know what carrier, what time. Like, just relax, my nigga. I think it's he worked for one of them companies because he always talk about that shit. He trying to think of y'all like homies or something. He trying to link you up in the system and shit.
Goofy ass.
But nah, I did want to talk about this though because this shit was crazy. So I don't know if you know who the OMB Bloodbath is, but that's a rapper in Houston. Now the Ricos have now come to Houston, right? And I want to tell you how these people got caught. So Houston rapper OMB Bloodbath facing RICO charges for alleged gang murder. So, according to All Hip Hop, Bloodbath, real name Alexandra Nix, was arrested earlier this month for allegedly helping the 100% Third Ward gang commit murder in October 2017 with the shooting of Sam Johnson. Per court documents, investigators allege that Bloodbath is a leader of 100% Third Ward, and messages to another leader of the gang behind bars in Harris County Jail were used as evidence against her when it came to the hit on Johnson. She messaged this person. I don't know if it was through the jail phone call or they said a message, which is so, why are y'all so dumb? You're going to have some good news in the morning when you turn on channel 13. Ombi Bloodbath allegedly told the incarcerated gang leader. She allegedly informed the leader of her upcoming record deal and said that she would pay off the youngins to pull off the hit on Johnson. On October 16, 2017, Sam Johnson was murdered by several gunmen and was found by police lying in the front of a residence in Houston. Another victim in the shooting that lived was identified as an alleged member of Young Scott Block. I even know we had like these things in Houston. Like I know there's like cliques and shit in Houston, but like these names they're saying, I've never heard of these. So Young Scott Block Surveillance footage shows the drive-by shooting take place when an alleged stolen Mazda pulled up alongside Johnson, opened fire. Four men jumped out the Mazda. Houston police obtained a warrant and searched through the Instagram DMs of the suspected gunman and found conversations with Bloodbath allegedly tied. So they're also DMing each other on Instagram about the shooting or how to set up the shooting. And I guess FBI subpoenas, I guess they subpoena maybe Instagram, I guess, Facebook, maybe. They get the DMs and say, hey, look, this is them talking about the shooting and this is them talking about this. So the 29-year-old rapper was signed to Love Renaissance via Interscope Records, put out an EP titled Remedies to Infinity last September. Bloodbath is being held on one RICO count for aiding and abetting in Johnson's murder along with other gang-related charges. Like, it
Lock
don't
them
be
up.
Bloodbath, that's a woman, that's a female.
Lock them up. Yeah, sign them up. Bloodbath is a woman.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
It's like
Sign
it's
'em
like
up.
stupid shit. This is what I say. Like, bro, you got the opportunity to become rappers, and you're talking about I'm about to get a record deal. I'm gonna use that to hire shooters. Like, what? Why would that shouldn't even be in your mind? What should be in your mind is, hey, we're gonna get everybody out the hood, so we ain't got to worry about shooting at anybody. Like that what you would think would be the mentality. But listen, I'm not a street nigga, so I don't know how deep that street logic runs in the veins. Like I always say that. I always try to like preface it with that, but it's just like
At this point, these people act like animals. There's no way it's no way to slice it, bro. Cause they not thinking about nothing productive but killing, bro. That's crazy. That's a crazy way to live, bro.
I'm about to get a
I couldn't
rap
even
deal.
imagine.
I'm gonna get a rap deal. I'm not, and I'm sure it wasn't from millions because Omi Bloodbath has never been the biggest prospect, but elevate out of whatever situation you about to be in. I'm gonna pay for the shooters. That's where you're thinking about it. And that now, of course, I was gonna tie you to the RICO. Like you're definitely aiding the gang. You're getting money over here to supply to the shooters. We're gonna get you out of here.
That's some demonic ass shit, bro. Cause you gotta think, bro. These people have shootouts all the damn time. They be going back and forth, killing each other. Like these people be crazy, bro. It's really sick. It's really sick.
I don't even get to like. I feel like it's got to be like to not have no to feel like to what it looks like to have like no emotional like you got to be a psychopath, right? Like you got to be like the serial killer psychopath because like there's no way you can just like casually do these things. It's just like it's casual. It's just like whatever. Like we killed like
I'm like
the
that.
you got to study the brain. Like it's got to be a form of like hood CTE or something.
It's something like that, bro.
Like it could like I said when I said I heard King Von say like when he was like 14 he watched somebody get murdered in front of him like that probably does have some type of traumatic CTE type of like you ain't getting hit in the head but like that type of trauma to your brain at such a young age probably does emotionally stunt you and fuck you up to where you just do become this like fuck it murder I killed 30 niggas down the street last week and I don't give a fuck and I killed 30 more like it's got to be some type of hood CTE.
Like if you see somebody get killed, it'll make me in my mind think I don't want to do that. I don't want to be around something like that's how my logic works. You want to go play GTA in real life?
Yeah.
That's retarded.
That's like you see
Retarded.
all them young niggas in New York. It'd be a lot of young guys that's killing each other, like 14-year-olds, like running around shooting each other. 15, their brain ain't developed. The CTE they hit their brain too early already. The hood CTE. They hit their brain too early and they're just out here killing each other, going crazy. Like I didn't know for years. Like I didn't really even pay attention to Chicago drill and this and that. Like I didn't give a fuck about shit like that. But when I did, I started watching documentaries. The ages they were saying 15-year-old murdered at the bus stop, 16. I'm like, oh, when I was 15 and 16, I don't know if anybody got murdered around me when I couldn't even think about it. Like I couldn't even imagine like being 15 and 16 and people getting murdered that is my same age, like murdered, like consistently, and then also people my age murdering people at 15, 16.
Yeah, what's now think what is coming to me like what y'all joking on me about 50 fights is like it was a culture that's created in the hood to fight, right? But from a young age, you start fighting, right? So it's no different with the guns from where these kids that were they doing shit like that. they gotta be 3, 4 years old, putting guns in their hand, playing that type of lifestyle, bro. Like,
I saw a video. I saw a video where a kid had a toy in Chicago, a toy gun, like, and they turned that bitch to a switch, which can make it like full. I guess
yeah,
make it
I know
fully
what you
automatic.
mean.
Like a kid. Like I'm like,
And but not so it's not just that they putting guns in their hands, they also antagonizing them. And just like how people antagonize and instigate fights, they antagonize the kids to play like that and act like that. And then once they get of age, it become a peer pressure thing of like, you ain't really a man, or you ain't really shit until you start doing this shit. Like, you already been playing like that, so it's already wired in them. That's what it feel like to me. It's like you gotta start so young with these type of kids that's like that, like you said, like CTE brain with from the hood. It has to start that young, bro. It has to. It's the only thing that makes sense, because no, say that they've been chilling and watching cartoons at all the way up till 10, and then you try to put a gun in their hand. It's like, nigga, I want to go watch Barney.
yeah, like, I
I
want to go
want
play the
to
game. Like I want to do
watch
this.
like, so it has to be a way of life. And it makes me think about like how back in the day it used to be a fight culture. Niggas fight all the time. Like that wasn't really a thing. They really just start shooting and shit. Like, but yeah, obviously we got more prevalent, and in certain areas, certain shit is even worse. And
And I think it's just like you
kids,
got in there. I think you think like you say you think like okay, um, I have to kill this person or these people before they kill me. So it's like you get that aspect of it as
oh,
well.
my fucking shit fell out. Yeah, and we also got to add how bad the public school is in these certain areas. So now they got people they don't like. Now they got niggas that's always kind of hated on them or took that girl and shit like that. So niggas bring guns to school. Niggas be knowing they gonna have guns in outside of school, so it become even more dangerous. Like in certain schools that be worse than others. Like obviously, Houston got certain schools that it's just always been known to have just certain behavior. So
Yeah.
it's just it's no different. Like when you think about like them schools be a breeding ground for a lot of that toxic environment to even be created more. So when you take on along with them niggas being comfortable with playing with guns, when you think that's like a way of life, it's like, bro, you ain't really a man till you have at least a gun on you, because you used to play with guns, and now you get older, shit, you got to get you a gun. Like that's just how it is. And now they getting into real arguments, they getting into real beefs, and that's what be going on. I feel like. Well, let me fix my
But it
camera.
was a crazy fucking TikTok. I was trying to find it where they was in the school gymnasium and they was like, it was kids, like I said, 15-year-olds pulling their shirt up. They got
Oh yeah, I
Glocks and
remember that.
nines, and they got one dude had like a semi, like a real like Uzi tucked in his pants at the school. I'm like, hey, I'm glad I ain't got no school like that. Now I'd have heard of niggas bringing a gun to school before, but I don't know if they was going to really use that bitch at school. But to have a bunch of people like just really showing guns like that at a school at such a young age, it's something going on in that community. It's something, and that shit ain't right, and that shit's scary. That may even think like where like I don't plan on my kids probably won't be living like and going to school in the hood or anything like that. But you know, no, Bryce doing that mass storage shit again. Plug it to the wrong thing.
I gotta find one cool. I got some damn plugs.
But let me read some of the chat real quick. Trail says, "Don't blame the hood culture just because you got beat up 50 times." I watched someone get stabbed in the face with a huge kitchen knife in the hood. I ain't gonna kill nobody. Vaughn was just an idiot. Um, I mean, if that's a place where character could be built, I guess that's a place where character could be built. I mean, you could get built character not in the hood as well. I think I got pretty good character, and I didn't get it built from the hood, you know. But even when you say that, I watched someone get stabbed. I think what he's saying is he watched. Did you watch the person you saw get stabbed? Now I'm not saying anybody see someone get killed. I think when they're already ingratiated in that street life, a part of being in a gang, and they see their fellow gang member get killed, that's when that fear strikes in. I could be next. I got to kill before I get killed. Survival instinct. That's what I'm saying. Now, if you just saw somebody get killed, I'm not saying that triggers that hood CTE in your head to go and kill people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're in a gang already at a young age and you see another gang member that's probably close to your age get killed, and you want to keep it in the game because you're already in it, that like snaps you into the gang shit. That's what I'm saying. Or into the murder mindset type of shit.
Yeah, I heard what you said. That makes sense.
But yeah, I can't even imagine when I just look at Trey. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta hear. I want to hear what your voice sound like. Cause I just feel like you got bullied when you was a kid. I just feel like it. Cause the way you talk shit on the internet, I just feel like you got bullied when you was a kid.
All right, you gonna trigger that, man.
I mean no harm. You my dog. You know, you my nigga. You say sending me stories. I fuck with you. But yeah. But now I ain't gonna lie, man. We can get about here. We ain't really got too much. John Morant, new news. He went to the facility. They say he probably gonna be out for the rest of the season. What's really else to say about that?
A silent suspension.
I said this is what I said. I said because Trail disagreed with me when I said they dragging it. I said if he would have got suspended those 2 games and nothing else would have came out about him and he would have came back to start playing, I don't think they would even give a fuck about this shit no more. Once the police officers close the investigation on it, I think it would just be like, all right, now he back playing. Like, if they started winning and start doing good, like I just feel like in 2 weeks, you don't know to give a fuck about that. Like, oh, are they gonna make the playoffs? Is it this? Is that? But I feel like when you drag shit out, that's what shit just keeps on getting talked about.
You're not wrong, but I feel like he maybe upset the NBA and maybe get a silent suspension. You can sit down.
Yeah.
We're gonna clean this. We're gonna clean this up for you, but you can sit down. Cause it wasn't like the nigga wasn't just dropping 30 a night. So we know there ain't nothing too wrong with the nigga. He ain't go Ben Simmons on us.
Yeah.
So it seemed like
and then they leaked the strip. Then they leaked the strip club pictures of them. I'm like, y'all niggas trying now. It's like that's how I felt when like with the Kyrie shit when they dropped the little list of demands. Like, all right, nigga, all right, y'all get it. He dropped the video. Y'all don't like the video. Y'all don't like what's in it. But then, all right, now y'all doing too much, bro. Now y'all trying. Now I feel like y'all trying something for real. The NBA knows more out there. So you're saying there's more stories than the 5 stories I think we've already heard about.
Oh, well, I think they upset about the 17-year-old stuff along with the gun.
But he's saying there's more. There's more instances that he's saying that just have not been released yet.
Probably so.
I mean, with the way he acts, it's not like it's not a possibility.
Well, I kind of referenced to the last episode of one time we talked about him. If you that dude that's ready to pull a gun and shit like that, bro, you're gonna start a lot of shit. So it's possible, bro.
You get the 50 fights. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of the bitch. We did our best to drag this motherfucker out, to drag it to the finish line. I feel like we had some good conversations through the dragging it out. So if you're not subscribed to the show, make sure you subscribe right now. If you haven't liked this video, make sure you like this video right now. Absolute Sure Podcast every single week, every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can also follow me at the D Friend Show. That's going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Clips come out throughout the week for that as well. So go subscribe over there. I need to get to 1,000 subscribers. I need to get it 4,000 watch time because I got to monetize that channel over there as well. So if you subscribe here, go subscribe over there. Young and May, I ain't got nothing to say about Young and May, but blessings and prayers. That's all you can say.
Thanks.
She looked like she got the jaundice eyes. Like, maybe her liver's damaged. Who knows, just pray that, the person don't die. Because I thought Young and May, I still think, a very talented rapper. So hopefully whatever disease Young and May got, that she can beat it. And
she actually do have a disease? I didn't know that.
And look, I don't know. Maybe she's like, when you got the yellow jaundice eyes, I assume that's like a liver disease. Because every time I watch Grey's Anatomy and they got the yellow eyes, they got some kind of jaundice, liver disease, liver failure. So like I ain't know now when I think back when I see old dudes, they got them yellow eyes. I'd be like, oh damn, your liver fucked up. Something wrong with you. Your bile is built up or something. I don't know. But that'd be because a lot of them old niggas who used to work with the warehouses used to drink all the fucking time. So their livers and shit was probably kaput. It looked like
Check
that's what's
engine light
going on
on.
with yeah. That's what when you got them yellow eyes and the check engine light. That's a telltale sign right there. Go get your shit checked out. So, like I said, prayers for young and May. Hopefully she comes out of whatever she got going on. But like I said, that's all I got, man. Bryce, any last words for the people?
Yeah, take it easy. Be happy. Be square.
All right, we'll see y'all next time, man. And I'll see y'all Wednesday.